Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Jay and welcome to the channel. Today we're back playing some Jurassic World Evolution and we're back in Nublar Emergent Biopark. Today's quite a hefty episode, even though the speed build is actually the shortest one so far. In fact, my speed build is literally me just mucking about with the terrain tools and changing up the fences a bit and literally not doing very much at all. But we are including some of my favorite dinosaurs so far. Specifically, if you've seen the thumbnail, you can already tell this is going to be a good one. We've got some absolutely gorgeous mods to be adding in today. And let's just talk through the species, because today is pretty much all about the dinosaurs, not much building work at all. So we'll just talk through the species, and then you're going to see them emerge from the hatchery, and then we're going to hop into the game and look at them up close. And as usual, we'll have the cinematics at the end. So yeah, let's get into it. So today we're adding in our Cretaceous China species, all the animals from Cretaceous China, with the exception of a couple stegosaur species which are from Jurassic China actually. So let's talk about the herbivores first. The first one we added is the Jinzusaurus, which was created by Jagged Fang Designs. This overrides the in-game Muttaburrasaurus, which I actually really like, but I wanted a Cretaceous Chinese hadrosaur or iguanodontid, so to speak, and this one specifically looked really good. The skin textures are beautiful, as you'll see in the game later on. They're absolutely gorgeous and I'm a very big fan of them. We've included a herd of them on this kind of ridge-like habitat next to where the hotels are. Apart from that, we've also added in another hadrosaur, which is the Coronosaurus or the Chironosaurus. That was created by Zach Chiu. It's a relatively more famous Parasaurolophus found across Asia, kind of in the border between the Asian countries and Russia. I just like how chunky it is. Not much else to say. It is a chunker and I love it. Aside from those two, we also have two species of stegosaur, which are base game stegosaurs. They've not been modded at all because they're pretty accurate already. We have the Huayangosaurus and the Chunkingosaurus, both of which are gorgeous. I specifically find the Huayangosaurus to be my favorite stegosaur in the game. It's got lovely skins and both of them are so adorable. You'll see them make this little hop when they exit the hatcheries later, and I think they're the cutest. And then we have our carnivores. Today we're adding two species, the first one being Guanlong, a very early relative of the Tyrannosaurus rex, also created by Jagged Fang Designs. This is one of their earlier mods, so it's not as polished as their more recent ones. And the star of today is the young Tyrannosaurus, the single most beautifully created mod I have covered so far. This is a relative of Allosaurus and Metriacanthosaurus found in China, and this model is beautiful. The skin is the best I've seen, like, period, in this game, and I think that later when you guys see it, you'll know exactly what I mean. It is absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, that's it pretty much. It's been a very short time lapse. So we're going to hop into the game now, and then we'll talk a lot more about the dinosaurs that we've mentioned so far, and I can gush a lot more about how much I love these skins. Anyways, I'll see you guys in a second. Okay everyone, here we are in the game. One thing I forgot to mention during the time lapse is that we've actually filled up our aviary with pteranodons. Now let's quickly have a look at them. We can actually go into the aviary, into the pteranodon camera and check them out. Here's one in flight right now, and that is a beautiful one. That is just the basic pteranodon skin, and I think that is a gorgeous skin. Look at it just soaring. That's so nice to see. We haven't modded the pteranodon too much. The only change is that now it doesn't have teeth. This mod was created by the user Demancia on the Nexus, so please do check that out if you're interested. But also, once again, disclaimer, just always mod at your own discretion, back up your files, the usual stuff. But yeah, this just makes the pteranodon a little bit more realistic. And overall, it's just a beautiful animal. Like, I really love the whole concept of the aviary. I think works so well in the game. Let's have a look at some of the others. Mainly just because it creates this whole like micro ecosystem that looks honestly so beautiful. This is our jungle pattern, which also looks really nice. And I don't know, I was one of those doubters. I never thought they could implement an aviary system or any sort of flying reptile within the game. And now that we actually have pteranodons and aviary, I gotta say this has been done so well. I couldn't imagine a better system in place. Of course there are limitations like the looped animations and stuff, but like for what it is, I honestly think this is the best they could have done, and I love it. These creatures look so beautiful, and the way they fly around this aviary just makes it feel like such a, I don't know, a really tangible thing. Like the aviary as a whole just feels so real. Like let's have a look at some of the camera views. Oh, it's starting to rain, which honestly really helps with the atmosphere as well. Look at the mist and the rain coming through the crate. Just looks gorgeous, and you can see from one of these cameras just the pteranodons hanging out on these platforms, looking amazing. Honestly, really love the aviary. Let's look at some of the other camera views. Here's one from up top, and you can see one perched on this rocky outcrop here. Further on this side, you can see, can we see any? I'm sure we can. Yeah, there's one over there. And there's a few just here and there, and the rain makes it look so much better as well. Here's one just hanging out next to the platform as well. And just overall, there's such a beautiful structure in the game. Honestly, one of the single best additions post-release. Oh wow, that's a great view. We're really up close now. Beautiful animal. And I love this. It honestly, I love things like this where you can tell the detail, like the amount of effort and attention detail that has been put in, because it makes it feel so much more real. And this, I don't have enough good things to say about the aviary system. It is honestly perfect, and I love it. Also, now that we're done with that, let's check out our Cretaceous herbivores, our Cretaceous Chinese herbivores. So these are from various formations across China. The good thing about Chinese fossils is they really end up, because of the location and the type of geology, the fossils that are found in China tend to be extremely well preserved. And we found some of our best examples of feathered dinosaurs there. Yeah, it's just a whole thing. Definitely look it up if you're interested. Here's our Coronosaurus. These guys are relative of the much more famous Parasaurolophus, except these guys are found more towards Russia. I put in a couple skins here. This green one, which is the Taiga pattern, and there's a red one here, which is the base pattern. I just did that to emulate sexual dimorphism, where the red one would be a male and the green one would be a female. Let's look for our stegosaurs, which are actually Jurassic herbivores. You can find them in the rain. Here's one. The Huayangosaurus is probably my favorite stegosaur. They're super cute. I think they're really adorable, and I love the color as well. They're very vibrant animals. This is the arid pattern, which is this orange, and the red one, yep, here is the step pattern. And I just think they're so cute. Like if you saw the entrance animation where they did a little hop and made that sound, so cute. Let's find the other stegosaur we have in here, which is the Chunkingosaurus. Chunkingosaurus is a slightly more advanced species. It came a few million years after Huayangosaurus, and here we are. Here are the two of them. Also great skins. You can tell they're slightly taller, less chunky, but still pretty chunky, which is great. That is not a pun, by the way, considering the name is Chunkingosaurus, but I kind of wish it was a pun. And yeah, look at him, super cute. and just waddling around. Of course, the Stegosaurus weren't modded because they're already pretty accurate. Of course, a few things could be changed, like feet, but honestly, it looks pretty good to me, so I'm happy keeping them. And of course, these guys, our Jinzusaurus, which are, and the game of course recognizes them as Mutabarosaurus because that was the base model, but Jagged Fang Designs have done a great job on these guys. I think the skins are beautiful. I'm using the Taiga and the base pattern, I believe. So let's have a look at some of the others. I believe we've got some other skins to look at. Yeah, let's find one in the light. Yeah, there we go. Here's two of them. You can see two different skins here. And they're beautiful. They're kind of iguanodontids, very similar to Mutabarosaurus or Iguanodon. And they're really, really nice looking. You can see a tour vehicle riding past, actually. And thing is, we're not going to ride in the tour vehicle today. I thought about it and I decided we'll save that for kind of the final episode of the park, where we'll tour the park in that vehicle. And I kind of want to expand the tour route as well to include some later habitats. But yeah, these are Jinzusaurs. I think they look great. They look pretty cool when they run bipedally as well. Of course, much more accurate body plan than some of the dinosaurs in the game. The Mutabarosaurus, which this is based on, is actually pretty accurate, so I will give it that. I just wanted specifically Cretaceous Chinese hadrosaur to kind of fit in with this habitat. Moving on to our carnivores, which are the absolute stars of the show today. There is it. I mean, the game recognizes it as an Allosaurus, but that is our young Tyrannosaurus. I remember when I was a kid and I read an A to Z book of dinosaurs, and this guy was at the end. Oh, there goes the wall. But these guys were right at the end, under Y, of course. And I just was super fascinated because they had a cool name, and the book picture was really cool as well. I remember really being super interested. But this is easily the single best model and skin we've seen of any dinosaur, modded or not, in Jurassic World Evolution, period. Jagged Fang Designs have done an incredible job, absolutely outstanding. Just look at the model. The proportions are perfect, their hands are accurate, which is really rare even for mods in this game, because it can be hard to manage with the animations. The coloring is absolutely phenomenal. Look at the red and blue on the snout, the sort of banding of green that comes down the neck and then goes into these bands of yellow, and the spots. It just reminds me of a large bird like a cassowary, and absolutely blows my mind how beautiful this dinosaur is. The quality blows me away. Let's look at some of the others. We do have a few skins which are just very slightly different. Like this is the wetland skin, and you can see there's more of a kind of a yellowy green. And let's see the last one, which is, this one, which is just overall a little bit more red. And yeah, that's all three of them, and they are stunning. They are so beautiful. I honestly cannot go on enough. They're just kind of incredible. And I did choose to run the tour through here, and you might think, Jay, these are giant carnivores. Why are you putting in people in an open top tour truck in this habitat? Surely that's dangerous. And to that I say, yeah. But I mean, I wanted to include at least one carnivore on the tour. I feel like if you go on a tour, you want at least one part which is kind of exciting. Like if you go on a safari, like, you know, when some zoos have like safari trails where you go in and at least at one point you kind of go past the lions. So I'm kind of emulating that. And besides those guys, you may have noticed our little carnivores as well. These are our Guanlong, which are an early relative of Tyrannosaurus actually. Very tiny, very crested with feathers. This is also by Jagged Fang Designs, but it's much more of one of the earlier works, so the model isn't anywhere near as polished as the young Tyrannosaurus, but still quite good. As you can see, there is a feather texture just about across the body and the tail, which I like. The crest looks nice, the skin is overall pretty good, but of course I imagine they will revisit this in the future and make it look a lot more updated. But overall I still think it's pretty good. I'm happy to have them here. I chose two skins. One is the alpine skin which you just saw, and the other one is this one. Let's see if we can see one in the light. Yep, there we go. Which is the arid, I believe. I'm not sure, either arid or wetland. And as you can see, it's just quite a lovely dinosaur. Model, of course, isn't quite up to par, but I think it still looks really nice, and honestly it's still really good. One thing that happens here is that the arms do glitch out a little bit because, again, this was an earlier model, which was, I think they were still experimenting with getting the hands to face the right way, but still really great, and I think they work really well in this habitat as well. Again, both of these creatures are from Cretaceous China. Guanlong might be from earlier actually, can't quite remember, but yeah, let's just have a look from this viewing gallery and see what we can see. Yeah, there we go, there's our young Tyrannosaurus, looking beautiful. Honestly, like, I could go on about it for hours, but I'm gonna try not to. But they're definitely my favorites in this park so far. Really, like, just, yeah. Let's have a look at this viewing gallery as well, actually. And you can see the herbivores here. I'm just going to the herbivores so I can try and stop myself from talking too much about those guys. But yeah, you can see how the twirl would work. We'll actually have a ride on that in the next few episodes whenever we get more finished. And in the next episode, we are going to fill in some of the remainder of the park. We'll probably have about 2 episodes left. One for Cretaceous Africa, and one for just a couple more here for, what was I going to do? Just Mesozoic England, essentially. Just from the British Isles, so we're going to have a couple more there. And other than that, that's it for this episode. I do hope you've enjoyed it. We do have a lot of cinematics coming up. Again, all the links to the mods are in the description. Thanks so much for watching. Please do let me know if you have any comments. Let me know which was your favorite dinosaur today, any dinosaurs you're hoping on seeing in this series. And as always, if you really like this content, please do subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!